Welcome, everybody, to Dueling Aces for November 18th, 2024. This bruiser, I just read your tail. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Were you talking about that right there? Because, damn, Cleveland Browns got a new daddy. Cleveland Browns got a brand new daddy.
I didn't even watch the game. I didn't.
It was despicable. Now, granted, of course, yours truly has Taysom Hill in fantasy in a couple of leagues, and the last time he even played the Browns, he turned around and torched them. So, of course, I didn't expect anything different. But damn, outrushed him. Outgot him on the punt kick returns, which included he scored one of his 3 touchdowns on. It was just, it was ugly.
I was leaving for work this morning, and my truck had switched over from Sirius XM to terrestrial radio for a minute, and it was on 92.3, and I was listening to Ken Carman and Anthony Lima for a moment before I switched it back, and Carmen was pissed because all the callers that were lined up in the call waiting were all calling about the Cavs. He goes, nobody cares about the Browns. They lost yesterday. They played like garbage, and nobody cares. He goes, the thing that surrounds this team right now is apathy, and that should worry everybody. He goes, forget the stupid stadium project. Forget renovating the old one. He goes, go get Mike Vrabel, put him in a room, and give him whatever he wants.
Vrabel's on the staff already. Vrabel is on the Cleveland staff.
He goes, put him in a room and give him whatever he wants, and fire Stefanski.
Yeah, it was seriously ugly. It really was. I mean, on the positive side, Jameis Winston didn't throw an interception. Taysom Hill actually did. I mean, that's actually one thing that Hill even still outdid them on, was a fumble and a interception. So, but I mean, yeah, Winston actually played a good game. It was just defensively, it was ugly.
So I don't watch pro football all that often. I really don't. Like, it's not. I may catch one or two. Like, I woke up in time to see the ending of the Chargers and the Bengals last night.
Oh, yeah. I want to get into that in a little bit, but yeah.
I had started watching it, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up just in time to see the Bengals blow it. But I did watch Buffalo, Kansas City yesterday, and I was a happy boy for that one.
Yeah, we know you were. We know you were.
I can't stand Kansas City. Kermit, listen, Kermit the Frog needs to find himself a Miss Piggy and just needs to go out the door with him, because I'm done. But the Browns are a whole different kind of bad.
Sam's with you. F the Chiefs.
The Browns are just a whole different kind of bad, because it reminds me of the teams from like 2004 to 2008, where you would have that like slight glimmer of hope. Remember when Romeo Crennel came in, we signed Reuben Drones. We built this offense in the offseason from, what was it, 04 to 05 or 03 to 04, somewhere in there. But we built this offense, this coaching staff, all that stuff. And we're like, hey, division, the only team we're really going to have to contend with is the Steelers, because the Ravens are down, the Bengals are down. The Browns could get a wild card. And then they were terrible. And we've had you sacrificed 4 years of the team's present and probably 8 years of the team's future to trade for a guy who hadn't played for a year and a half. And at this point has more good games behind him than he does in front of him. If he can stay healthy for an entire game.
Right.
I think the fan base, follow me on this, and I know it's going to sound weird, but you'll understand when I finish.
Okay.
If if Deshaun Watson had gotten loaded in a bar, gotten behind the wheel of a car, drove drunk, hit and injured somebody, or at absolute worst, killed somebody, and that's why he was suspended for a year and a half, and then we traded for him, I think the fan base would be far more forgiving than the fact that he was accused of and has settled more sexual assault and cases, or not assault, but know the word I'm looking for, the massage cases. I think that leaves a more sour taste in people's mouth than if he had driven drunk and hurt somebody.
Fair enough.
And I think that combined with poor play and the fact that you traded away 3 years of worth of draft picks to get him, when you look at the weapons that have come up. The Lions drafted Aiden Hutchinson, right?
Yep.
If the Browns had a first-round pick, they could have picked him up. You could have had Aiden Hutchinson in a Cleveland uniform if they had a first-round draft pick.
Right.
You're so worried. You're so worried about winning now. And that's never been, you're never going to win right now. You're never one player away. You have to build the system. And the Browns don't have it. They don't have a system. The Browns are the NFL equivalent of that one friend that we all know that lives paycheck to paycheck, and every once in a while they have more money than they're supposed to, so they spend it on something stupid, and then they spend the next 6 months trying to catch up because the Bills get behind.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're doing it with guaranteed money. And of course that's what every owner just cringed when that happened, because they're like, oh, now we've got to give out guaranteed money contracts. Way to go, Haslam. Damn moron. Rookie has no idea what he's doing.
It's not even the guarantee. Listen, they've given out guaranteed money for a long time. It's the fact that he gave out a fully guaranteed contract. It wasn't
right.
a $253 million contract with 125 of it guaranteed, and then another 60 million in incentives and yada yada. No, he gave out all 250 whatever it was $1 million guaranteed.
And that's, of course, right now. And then you rework the contract not once but twice, and you're stuck with him for another 4 to 5 years.
At least another 2.
Oh, it's 4. At least 4.
I think it's 2.
The sports track, when Zolt and I did this couple months back when they reworked it, we got him for 4 more. Locked 4 more. Because the dead cap hit is way too much.
They were saying Carmen was saying this morning that it is a minimum of 2. I think there's options involved that you might be able to clear out 3 and 4.
We need our stats man. He's a little late. He's a little behind. Be nice. It's like, hey, where's our stats guy? I'll try to pull it up here. And we'll see what we've got. I'm turn around and get that bad boy up here. Oh man, I hate when ads keep popping up all over the place. They just crash the pages. Come on. Show me Watson. Let's go. Jesus. And taking forever on my end. Come on, Zolt. Where are you, dude? Oh, it's pulling up now. I mean, I don't even think that Watson was going to be too much of an ordeal. I mean, there were no picks thrown. You had 0 picks thrown. By
You mean Winston?
Yeah, that's why I said Watson.
You said
Watson. I don't think would have even made a difference in this game.
It's not that Watson would or would not have made a difference in the game. Remember, you remember the movie Draft Day with Costner?
Right.
When he said, I want all 3 years of this team's future back?
Right.
They had a moment. There was an opportunity before the Watson deal where if you look at that draft class of 2022, there were a handful of quarterbacks in that draft that you could have gotten to sit behind Baker. And I firmly believe that Baker, with an OC that would actually build an offense around him, and if you'd run the damn ball and keep the offensive line steady, Baker would have been a great quarterback here. And oh, by the way, our offensive coordinator and Ken Dorsey, don't forget he got fired from Buffalo last year. And look at the numbers they've put up since Ken Dorsey got fired.
Yeah, Josh Allen's been a running machine again all of a sudden instead of sitting in the pocket.
Look at those numbers. You look at it's not even just Josh Allen, it's the offense as a whole.
Stefanski's pulling. Well, I'm not saying that Dorsey can sit there and call what he wants. Stefanski's the one who's pulling a Sirianni and saying, well, no, let's change it to this. And it's kind of the same thing what the Eagles are going.
Stefanski said he was giving up play calling duties.
I don't believe that as far as I can throw him.
I mean, I could throw him pretty far.
Oh, I know you can. But the other problem is that he literally is saying that and doing it on purpose. So it's like, hey, look, yeah, see, it's all his fault. It's like, no, stupid. You didn't have him last year, and the year prior, it was all your fault.
I don't
have Dorsey this year.
I can't follow the black helicopters that you do. Like, not everything is CIA operatives and black helicopters. Stefanski is a terrible play caller, but Ken Dorsey's offense isn't that much better, man. They're both awful. There's a reason why Ken Dorsey's gotten fired from almost every OC job he's had.
Yeah, it looks like it's stuck with them until the 2027 season.
It's 2 years.
So I got this year and 2 more.
Well, this year's almost over, so you got 2 years.
But at least even at that, it's a $27 million cap hit, which I think at this point they'll have to swallow it.
I would just swallow, like,
they can't swallow it now. It's almost a $200 million cap hit. You can't swallow it now.
No, I'm talking in 2020.
You'll bankrupt the team.
I'm talking in 2027 or 26.
No, you can't do 26. That's 100 mil. 27, it's 27 million to swallow. They'll swallow that, but you ain't gonna swallow 100 mil.
I would rework.
You're not swallowing 100 mil.
I would rework Myles Garrett's contract, and I would rework.
You already just did.
I would pay Nick Chubb, and I would be like, look, it's gonna be lean for a year or two, and I would just eat the 100 million and get rid of him, and just get rid of him.
Let's see what. Chubb's gone after this year.
That was a make 15.
Chubb's gone after this year.
They'll re-sign him.
I don't think so.
I think they will,
because of all the injuries. I don't think they do.
They'll re-sign him. It's either that or he goes to Pittsburgh and ends up becoming a Hall of Famer again.
I don't think Pittsburgh would take him.
Mike Tomlin would take.
Who's really desperate for a running back right now?
Mike Tomlin.
The Giants, the Colts.
No, dude. Mike Tomlin would take Nick Chubb in a heartbeat.
No, he's good with Harris and Warren right now. He's real good with those two. So you got Garrett also in the same boat as the Watson thing in 2027.
You keep Garrett.
You're passing.
You keep
Anthony saying, "Oh, the Giants or the Cowboys." Anthony forgot about those two. Thanks, dude. As I say, yeah, especially the Cowboys. Cowboys would sign him in a heartbeat.
You keep Garrett. You're gonna re-sign Chubb, and just fucking eat the 100 million and get rid of him. You've got your first round picks. Get rid of it.
It doesn't quite work that way, though.
In this case, it's gonna have to, George. You're gonna have to just look.
You're stuck with the dude. That's what I'm saying. You're stuck with him.
You're gonna have to burn the house.
Money. You don't have the money.
Burn the house down. Burn the house. Listen, we're in Cleveland. There's plenty of people that know how to burn houses down pretty easily. Burn the house down. Call the insurance.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, there's no money there, dude. There's just no money there.
You're not listening. I'm not telling you to do it right now. I'm telling you to do it after next year in 2026 when it goes down to 100 million.
That's a big cut.
I don't care. You've got to do something. What are you laughing about?
If there's no money there, yeah, I mean, there's no insurance backup in this case.
The Browns have cap room.
You only have 34 million. It was just on the screen. That's all
And
they got.
don't sign anybody at the end of this year other than Chubb. I'm telling you, don't go make big free agent splashes. Be lean. Be lean. Sign minimalist guys so that you don't have to worry about freeing up cap room. You will already have it. And then say, you know what? Fuck it. Here's $100 million in 2026. Go the fuck away.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the kicker. That's the only way you're gonna be able to pull that off. You'd have to trade Garrett, and it's like, and you really don't want to do that either. I mean, you're gonna have nobody. I mean, you really want to turn around and you want to turn this thing into a Middle Tennessee State stadium and only have 10 people in it? Wow.
George, I want to.
You go belly up in a minute, dude.
I want to pare this thing back so far that we're playing guys on rookie contracts as start. Like, I want
third round. We did that already in '99. It was atrocious, and it took till 2002 to 2003 to even get viable again.
Yes, and that's because of bad deals made by bad management. Guess what happened again in 2024? Bad deals by bad management. And you never cleaned the house properly. You never fumigated for the infestation properly. It's time to rip the thing down to the studs and start over.
They did that already.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
And even with the new owner, they tried it.
George, no, they didn't. They didn't. Because they always kept some semblance of somebody from the previous regime and continue to make bad business decisions. You're making more bad business decisions. You signed a quarterback for 6 years for $253 million guaranteed and screwed your team for the better part of a decade. And the only way to get out of it is to bite the bullet, take the sandpaper condom up the rectum, and deal with it for 2 years so that you can get out from underneath it.
All right. And then in the meantime, who are you getting in the stadium to? You got to put butts in the seats, dude.
Dude,
you still have to pay. You still have to pay somebody. You still have to turn around and pay those rookie contracts.
Hey, opposing fans will come. They're gonna come and watch the games. Remember, dude. You remember in the mid 2000s? The mid 2000s, there were more Steelers jerseys than Browns jerseys. There were more Ravens and Packers and Lions jerseys in that stadium than the Browns jerseys.
Well, but the problem is you don't want this thing to be like LA, where it's always visitors jerseys.
That's fine. If it's I don't give a crap if it's like LA for 3 or 4 years. I do not care. Because I want this thing scrubbed so squeaky clean that when you start to rebuild, that there is no choice to go up. There's no other way to go but up. You have to rip it completely apart. 100%. Down to the studs.
But you cannot take financial losses that hard. You will literally flip it and end up in bankruptcy with an NFL team. And the NFL don't go.
The Haslam's own pilot. They can subsidize this team out of their own pocket if they wanted to.
Nah, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes, though.
This team's not going to go bankrupt. There's enough idiots that root for him every I'm trying not to swear, okay? Do you understand how hard I am trying not to say the F word right now?
Yeah. Yes, I have to. Yes, and you're doing a very good job. Thank you.
There are enough idiots that will go buy jerseys and go to games because, hey, the Browns might go 4-13, and they might beat the Steelers here and there. But I tell you what, I would rather suffer for 4 years as a fan base.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what the Saints actually are doing. That truly is. That's why
that's not what I'm trying to do, Anthony. It's not what I'm trying to do at all. What I want to do is get rid of everybody on this team that has a decent sized contract, free up all that cap room, sign a bunch of scrub players that might get us 5-12, maybe 6-11, something slightly passable. So that we can take $100 million in 2026, give it to Deshaun Watson, and make him go the hell away. That's what I want. Trade away Myles Garrett. Give me a first-round pick in 2027 and 2028 for Myles Garrett.
Nobody's going to give you that either. They'll give you a second, but they're not going to give up a first.
Give me a first in 2027 and a second in 2028.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the other problem. It's like you have to eat the $100 million, then you have to get back over that cap before the season starts.
So
like I said, you won't have anybody on the team. That's the problem.
I'm telling you, you sign scrub players. Sign them.
It doesn't matter. The minimum contract is still just over $1 million. And when you don't have that to give, there's nothing to give because you're in the hole so far.
The cap is going to go up at the end of this year and the end of next year. It's going to go up.
Right. It only goes up by 2%. That's like a whole.
What's the current cap right now, George?
$6 million. Hang on.
Huh?
Hang on. $255.
Hit the escape button, Thomas.
And it's going to go to 30.6 next year.
Give me that, Thomas.
So you're getting five. You're getting an extra $5 million.
Move.
I'm sorry. 45. I'm sorry, 45. You're getting an extra 45. So you're trying to say you're gonna sign 54 guys basically off of Division III and Division IV college schools.
Yes.
You'll go bankrupt and the NFL will turn around and pull your ownership.
No, you won't.
Yeah, they will. The NFL.
No, you won't go bankrupt.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
Oh, they will.
No, they won't. I'm telling you that they won't.
There's a certain amount of money that you have to have as a rolling collateral. And if you give it all away, you're done.
Your cap in 2026. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to, instead of trying to figure this out.
Yeah, that's.
Hold on. Nope. All right. The estimated salary cap for the NFL in 2027 is $312 million, George. $312 million is the estimated salary cap in 2027. Guess what? I think we can afford $100 million.
No, you're only at 255 now.
In 2027.
Right. You're gonna in 2027 his hit's only 27 million.
And in 2026, it's 329.
It's 100. No, it's 100 million next year.
The estimated salary cap for the NFL in 2026 is $329.67 million, which is a 13% increase from 2023. This increase is due to the league's COVID debt being likely off the books and the adjusted TV deal money accelerating the cap.
Right.
So
right now it's 255, and next year it's going to be 30.6.
300. It's 255 million per team this year. Next year is going to be 300 million. And then the year after that is going to be 329 million. So you're telling me that you can't put a roster together. You can't put a roster together for $229 million.
You're not going to make any money.
I don't give a shit about making money. I do not care about.
You have to make a certain amount of money for the NFL. You have to
make. They're gonna make it. They're going to make it.
You have to pay off. You've got to pay off all those guys with your total dead cap hit. Now it's not just that 100 million. You're looking at almost $1 billion between all the players you want to get rid of.
George, you're not listening. I'm not telling you to cut everybody. What I'm telling you to do is over the next 2 years, pare it down. When you have people that are up for deals, don't renew them.
Well, then Chubb's out.
Don't renew them. Then get rid of Chubb and you save that money and you sign somebody from a D2 school. You sign somebody who is lesser than, because you have to pare it back and have bad before you can have good again, because this organization, this team, this front office has proven that they do not know how to handle good at all. So you have to tear it down completely.
You're going to go belly up.
Zolt's here to tell me why I'm wrong, which is fine. But like,
I've been trying to say.
Look, it's not anything that the Lions didn't do.
The Lions didn't.
What are we talking about?
He's talking about the Browns cutting off everything to turn around and pay off Watson's $100 million.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is
he's gonna pay his players, but his food will be cheap, 3 for $5 hot dogs.
I want contracts that come up between now and 2026. I don't want to renew them, and I want to sign lesser than players to free up more salary cap room so that in 2026 the Browns can eat the $100 million, still field the team, and get rid of fucking Deshaun Watson.
You just want to scrap it and start over.
Yes.
You might be at that point.
Yeah, but financially you can't.
Yeah, you just wait it out. That's all you can do.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say. You gotta wait. You gotta wait it out. You cannot pay Watson next year the $100 million. You can't do it. You can't get rid of him next year. You can't pay it off next year. You can't do it. You have to wait till 2027 when you can eliminate him off for that 27.
Next year's 2025. We're talking 2026, a year down the road.
Cutting him in 2026 is still a $100 million cap hit.
That's what I just said. I know that.
Although it's really only a $27 million difference from your actual cap hit.
Yeah. He's $70 million against the cap. We're only actually paying him an extra $27 million.
Okay. You want to fix this? If you want to fix this, you really, really actually want to fix this. You take.
I'll be right back. I'm getting a drink.
That's fine. Every last bit of base salary that you have left, which, doing quick math here, roughly 92 million, you convert it 100% into a signing bonus, and you add about 4 more void years, and you stretch that shit out. He's still going to be on your roster. You can't get rid of him. But what you can do is pay him to shut up and sit there and hopefully spread the hit out enough.
I think you
to where
just
you
need
can
to
get
bite
there.
it and get it over with.
Well, here's the thing. The problem is you can just pay him and have him sit there, and it's going to cost you less than it would be to get rid of him. So,
But
and that's kind of the route I would take.
The problem is that you have there's such negative energy and attention already around him. And it's like I said to George earlier. I think the Cleveland fan base would be more forgiving of Watson if, when he was in Houston, he had gotten loaded at a bar, gotten into his car, and attempted to drive home, and then ended up plowing into somebody and injuring them in a drunk driving accident. Versus what is it now? Over 30 accusations of sexual improprieties.
Okay, let's. I'm gonna get real for a minute here, Bruiser George. You know how I actually feel, but I'm gonna lay this out in a business-like manner.
I know how you feel.
Okay. The fact of the matter is, the sins he committed in Houston, in the fans' eyes, are less than the sin he committed in Cleveland, which is coming there and sucking.
I disagree. I think they compound both.
No, they're both there, but the fact that he's making an entire team salary cap worth of money and doing nothing.
That's the problem. You're making $253 million guaranteed, and you cannot stay healthy for 16 games or 17 games. And your coach hired an offensive coordinator who got fired from his last offensive coordinator. Tell me a team that Ken Dorsey hasn't been fired from eventually. Last I checked, he isn't one of the OCs that everybody's beating their door down on at the end of the year to sign as a head coach because he's so good.
I'm just looking at the damn numbers, and your two options are, and I don't know how option one works. Option one is just ride it out till the end of the contract. I don't know how that works because that's an extra 45 million out of your cap next year. Or option two, you Bobby Bonilla him.
Oh no!
You stretch that out
we ain't
for 10 years.
No, we ain't pulling no Bobby Bonilla. No, hell no.
And make it
eat
slightly
that
more
cap hit
affordable.
first. How many more years does Bonilla have on that?
Isn't it like 2035 or something like that?
I was gonna say it's almost running its course, isn't it?
Honestly, sit there and just suck for the next 2 years. That's my legitimate advice, because what else are you going to do?
It is July 1st, 2035 is the final Bobby Bonilla day.
10 more years, because he just got paid this year, so you got 10 more years of that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a big celebration and an official, hey, this is your last check.
Oh my God. Okay.
Make it the big Bobby Bonilla day at the ballpark.
Bobby Bonilla Day is July 1st when the New York Mets pay former player Bobby Bonilla a deferred fee. The Mets bought out Bonilla's contract in 99 when he was released, but deferred the $5.9 million he was owed. As part of the settlement, the Mets agreed to pay Bobby Bonilla $1,193,248.20 annually from 2011 to 2035, plus 8% interest. That means that Bobby Bonilla will receive a total of $29.8 million over the life of the deal.
If that wasn't an owner who was thinking about selling, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
best
what
part
I'm.
about that. The best part about that, I love it every time I hear it. It's got to be at least the third time that's been read on the show. But I love it.
I think I've
every
read it
time.
twice.
Yes.
I was going to say,
And I'm also wearing a Pirates hat where he started.
And to respond to Anthony, yes. But here's the biggest issue with the personal conduct clause. Unless it's criminal, which so far nothing has been. It's all been civil.
Yep.
Anything civil, he has enough money to make it go away before the NFL ever gets it. And that's what he's done. Anything that's anybody starts sniffing around, here's a check. Go away.
Yeah, and the getting back to Bruiser's thing about, staying healthy. So 2022, only 6 games. 2023, only 6 games. This year, he one-upped it. He made it 7.
He made it 7. Yeah,
He
here's the
made
thing,
it
though.
7 games.
When his contract is completely guaranteed, what difference does it make?
The problem is it's not even like little injuries or nagging injuries. They're big surgical injuries.
And he only had the 1 year off because he was a 2017 draft pick.
He had a year and a half off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Season and a half. But like I said, he hasn't done squat. He hasn't done a damn thing.
He is the definition of an anchor.
Yes. Can I? All right.
It's like having a very nice Lamborghini sitting in the driveway
with a
no
V6
battery
in it.
No battery, no gas, no motor.
No. It's got the motor. It's got a battery and gas. It's just got a V6 in it. You've got a Lamborghini with a V6 in it.
No. It's got everything you could possibly want on it. It has every option, every upgrade, and it has a parking boot on it.
It's also very valid. Hey, can I? But so, as a Browns fan, I want to borrow Dan Campbell.
No.
Hold on.
Zol just said, "Oh no.
I don't want to hire him. I don't want him to come down and coach the Browns staff. What I want him to do is I want him to come down and yell at the Browns front office, and maybe, just maybe, they might start to actually do something.
I don't want him with a binocular vision of that friggin' building. He can record a message. How's that?
Can we buy a cameo?
I was gonna say all you got to do is set him up with the Zoom StreamYard interface call. You're good to go. We've got the.
We'll buy a cameo from Dan Campbell for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want Zoom call. I don't want StreamYard. I don't want none of that. I want Bruiser's suggestion because that means your guys can't talk back.
Back to him.
I've already discussed this with Sam earlier. We know we're losing both coordinators this offseason. We've had it really good. We can't have anything messing up Dan Campbell.
I don't think so. Until they actually if they make it to the Super Bowl, okay, which is pretty damn likely. They make it to the Super Bowl and they also win it. Fine, I can see that. But if they get there and they kind of almost do it, I think they run it back one more time before you lose anybody. I seriously do think that.
I think they
Just like
lose
this
one
year.
coordinator.
Everybody said this year they were going to be gone. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. I think they've got that goal. I think once they've reached that goal and that pinnacle, then you'd lose them.
I think a big determining factor was how the season ended. Nobody was happy with how that 49er
No.
game went. Nobody was. I think that was probably the biggest factor. At some point, if I'm speaking specifically now about Ben Johnson, because let's face it, he's certainly seems like an offensive genius.
Hey, Ben Johnson, Cleveland Browns head coach, sounds awesome.
Zolt's shut up.
No. He says he's always going to be looking for the right opportunity.
Fair enough.
No, I mean everybody who's a coach at any level knows your window is limited. So all it takes is one off year and suddenly the offers aren't going to be there. So I would be surprised if we don't lose Ben Johnson. I would be surprised if we don't lose Aaron Glenn.
I think you'll lose one. I don't think you'll lose both. I think Ben Johnson probably going to somewhere like Cleveland or Cincinnati, or
I was thinking Cincinnati actually.
I could
Really?
see it happen. Yeah. Oh yeah. You've got that type of offensive machine down there that could really put up some numbers and do some damage, and it just doesn't have any direction.
Or I mean, New Orleans,
Carolina.
There's a lot of interesting pieces in New Orleans. They don't quite fit, but
have they ever really fit though? Like New Orleans has always been that. I mean,
yeah, I know. It's like that's been the brown paper bag capital of the world.
No, it's not even that. But like if you look at New Orleans since they went back into New Orleans from Katrina with Drew Brees and the way that Peyton put those teams together, it was always the land of misfit toys. Nothing ever fit together quite right. And yet it always worked.
And Ben Johnson's going to have like Taysom Hill in the slot, and he's going to run like a wheel route, and everything's going to work. And we're going to be like, what the hell? Why didn't I draft Taysom Hill?
Oh, no. You need to understand. Remember this. Nobody drafted Taysom Hill. The Packers actually signed him as an undrafted free agent.
Sir, you know I'm talking fantasy.
Oh.
All right. Hey,
well, trust me, the Green Bay Packers are kicking themselves in the nards just a little.
What about?
Too.
Yeah, I got to be right back.
The Eagles or the Jets signing Ben Johnson?
The Jets? Oh my gosh, you're lucky Zolt stepped away.
I'm just the teams out there that are going to be looking for a head coach at the end of the year. I mean, the Eagles are in first place, and they're still probably going to fire Sirianni at the end of the year.
Yeah,
they're going to put him in a Santa outfit. That way, that the idiots over in Philly can throw batteries at him or whatever it is they do.
Touche.
Because I know he's still here. I know he's hanging or he's lurking around.
No, he's probably running. There he is. Bruiser turn around and mention Ben Johnson to the Jets.
What? I mean, that's fine. Goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. So he ain't gonna put up with that.
I wasn't talking about Zolt lurking around. I was talking about somebody else lurking around. Zolt's not from Philly. I know the cockroaches are around here somewhere.
Nope.
Oh, he's listening.
I was gonna say Anthony even bounced. I think.
I mean,
It's like Beal.
Can you imagine what Ben Johnson would do? A competent offensive guy would do with a team like Phillies.
Listen, Sam's like Beetlejuice. You say his name 3 times, he shows up.
Ben Johnson and Philly. That would be interesting.
I mean, what teams are out there that are looking for a head coach at the end of the year?
The Jags.
I would think
was gonna say we got there's a bucket down here. The Colts, Bears, the Jags, the Giants.
The
Jets,
they haven't.
the Saints.
Hold on. Because they haven't officially fired Eberflus yet, and I don't know that they will.
End of season. I'm thinking that's an end of season. He's making changes to try to save his job, and it ain't gonna work.
But the teams that absolutely need a head coach: the Jags, the Jets, Cincinnati. I think the Bengals are gonna make a change.
You gotta do something.
The Colts.
The Jaguars.
I already said the Jags.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, all of those teams you mentioned are pretty intriguing as far as the offensive pieces that they have.
The Panthers.
Except them.
The Panthers are already on a new coach this year.
And look at how they're doing.
The Panthers are doing what you want the Browns to do. They tore it down to the studs, even with ownership, and are starting over. So
it's exactly what I want the Browns to do.
So you really you won't be able to turn around and figure that one.
I would say the Raiders, but this is Antonio Pierce's first real year.
Do the Cowboys fire McCarthy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And if they fire McCarthy, is that intriguing?
Maybe. I don't think that's the direction Jerry wants to go.
Listen, Jera is getting ready, is starting to become Al Davis.
Yes, very much so.
And at what point do you just kind of just push him out?
At what point did they do it to Al?
They
didn't.
They didn't. Dude died.
There
he is. There he is.
Told you Sam would show back
up. He's back. Jerry will name himself head coach.
No, he won't.
No.
I know who he's going after.
Who?
Oh, come on. Come on, George. You know who he's going after.
Who?
Don't think NFL level.
Saban?
No, he might make a run. I don't think he does, though. I think Saban's too old.
Saban will turn around and go, yeah, no thanks. Dude, there's no there ain't no way he's gonna go Billy.
No, he might try. That would be interesting. I don't think he does, though. No, dude. He's going to Buffalo territory? Colorado?
Oh, Dion?
Yeah.
God. Jesus.
I don't think for a second he's going to be able to draft his son, but maybe he can.
I was going to say.
I think in Jerry's head, that is like the perfect solution.
All of it.
Okay.
I think I might get a buzz cut.
Whatever.
What? How? How?
No, and because Jerry wants to put butts in the seats, and that
Yeah.
will totally do it.
Yeah.
That'll
He's
do
a
it in a
legend.
heartbeat.
He's a Dallas
And Dion could go
legend.
0-18, and he don't care.
For the
He
first-
could go 0-18 his first season. He don't care. Yeah,
Jerry
that's right.
Jones and
That's
Coach
right.
Prime.
I totally forgot about that. That's right. He could totally pull that off too.
Think you guys are out of your minds.
I think Jerry is out of his mind.
Well, that's been proven, sir.
That's my rationale. It's not that I think he should do it. I'm just would not surprise me in the slightest. And then
No,
we'd have to put
it's
up with
it's
that.
not far-fetched at all. It's not far-fetched at all.
But I mean, I certainly could be wrong. He could make a run for Bill because Bill wants to coach. But Bill can go coach down in Jacksonville. I don't know what the hell the Bears are going to do here.
Jacksonville, somebody mentioned that the other day. Somebody
It was
mentioned
on,
that Bill, because of Jacksonville's talent that they've got on that roster, and they said that Peterson just has no clue what to do with them. They mentioned Belichick right off the rip. And I was like, that'd be interesting.
It was the NFL pregame show.
Yesterday?
Yeah, was where I
Was
had
it
heard.
yesterday?
Yeah.
I have a stat from the Bears. God help us all.
Oh God.
Since 1940, when the Bears have 0 turnovers on offense and have at least 1 takeaway on defense, so 0 turnovers and positive takeover differential, their record is 101, 24, and 2. 101 wins, 24 losses in the past 84 years. Out of those 24 losses, 3 of them have been the last 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
Wow. Whoo, buddy.
I can't.
The Bears
Okay.
and Jacks should be ready to offer Ben Johnson a blank check. Would you really go? The Bears.
He won't go to the Bears.
He won't
There's
go to the
no
Bears.
way. No way.
He won't go to a division rival.
Nope. I mean, Dan Campbell, I'm sure, is like, yes, take whatever opportunity comes, go do it. You can do it. You're the guy. Don't go into his division.
Right.
That Bears game, the Packers Bears game on Sunday. I don't even fault the Bears for that because that was such a the height that dude got to block that field goal. I almost wonder if somebody prayed before the game and an angel came down from heaven and lifted him up like the
Angels in the outfield.
Yes.
Yeah, just whoop.
100%.
It was like that Denver field goal that got foobarred too to beat the Chiefs, and it's like, man, what the heck's going on?
Somewhere Tony Danza's smoking his cigarette, warming up his left shoulder, getting ready to pitch in the bottom of the ninth.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, it's no. The reality of it is,
Hold on. So we play D&D every Sunday at my house, right? And there's a couple of young kids at the table who are only a couple of years older than my daughter, who is 19. And I made a joke about Tony Danza the other day, and one of the kids looked at me and said, "Who's Tony Danza?" And I went, "Who's the boss?"
Fair question.
No, they ain't gonna. Yeah.
Nope.
I had no idea. And I said, "Get out."
That's like us as kids, and Ronald Reagan became president, and we went, he was an actor, and our freaking parents looking at us going, yeah, genius. I mean, hey,
Ronald Reagan was an actor in the 50s.
Now you know how it felt.
No, it's totally different. Totally different.
No, it's not.
Ronald Reagan wasn't as pop culture as Tony Danza.
Depends.
I mean, after he went insane and the Ramones wrote a song about him, maybe, but
did such a thing as pop culture even exist back then?
No, they just called it trending.
That's pop culture, jackass.
Yeah, but in the 60s and 70s, it was what's trending.
Sure it did. I mean,
like I said, we're getting that old. We're getting that old that we are so old that we had to get up and actually physically change the channel on the TV set.
I've never had to do that. I've always had a remote.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
How old are you?
42. Had big old clunky remote.
Yeah, that's right. You would have had that big old freaking thing that looked like almost the size of a 40 Colt 45.
I mean, it wasn't that big. It kind of resembled what an iPhone looks like now. It's weird that our cell phones have gotten bigger. Cell phones have gotten bigger, and the remotes have gotten smaller.
All right, so you're still younger.
I mean, I'm not that young. The TV that I had in my bedroom to play Nintendo on was rotary switch. It didn't have a remote. But did you
ever touch a rotary phone?
Oh yeah. I know how to dial a rotary phone.
All right. Then we're in the same ballpark there. All right.
There's kids today that don't know how to dial a push button phone.
Actually, Bryce, because at my grandparents' house, they still had a rotary line hooked up in the basement. The phone company actually still had the support on it. Bryce actually does know how to work a rotary phone.
Okay.
So he's also the kid that probably does know how to work a cassette player because they had one of that. He knows how to work a Walkman.
But does he know how to work a record player without scratching it?
No, because they never showed him one. No, actually, no. Yes, he does. Because my grandpa's old TV it was one of those big TVs.
They had the record players in the top.
Yep. The record player and the stereo in the tops. Yep. So actually, yes, he does.
He can work it without scratching it.
He can set that needle right on the edge of it and let it play.
You know what I found in my basement the other day? Stuff that my mom had brought over for me to go through. I found my original pressing of Pink Floyd's The Wall and Dark Side of the Moon.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I really want to get stoned and listen to Dark Side of the Moon.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. The reality, though, Ben Johnson, if the Eagles do get rid of Sirianni, that's probably where he'd jump. There's a lot of there is a lot of talent over there.
That's one of those situations that's not going to happen. They're not going to get rid of him.
I could see Ben Johnson in Cincinnati.
I could certainly see that.
They're losing T. Higgins. You got to re-sign Chase now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong first.
But
I don't know.
you also have guys like Chase Brown on a rookie deal. You've got Zach Moss. You have pieces. There's no doubt you have pieces. And to be perfectly honest, if you're re-signing Chase, you need to get rid of T. Higgins because you need a rookie in that spot.
Yeah. Oh, last night T. Higgins showed that he can. Somebody needs to sign him.
Yeah.
T. Higgins earned his paycheck last night and then some.
Yeah,
And he was just half a foot away from making it a real interesting football game. Yeah.
He went from, is he gonna have quote unquote an injury the rest of the season because he doesn't want to play, to he just stamped his application for free agency.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yep. Since I was going to say, if I was Cincinnati, I would have been looking at it going, damn, could you have played that well before the trade deadline, dude?
Right.
I mean, really, it's like if we would have known you were doing that, we would have turned around and just said, yeah, we'll trade you. We'll get something for you. So, yep, that's going to be that will be the $1 million question, is where does he want to go? Because he'll interview everywhere.
Yeah.
That dude is about to get more free dinners in 2 weeks than he would have in his whole career so far.
Really, though, a lot of his success is going to be based on who he selects as a defensive coordinator. Because that's the problem with that team.
Well, with
Cincinnati?
He goes with Cincinnati.
I mean, they have O-line issues, but at the same time, they kind of showed last night that they can work around it depending on the opposition. So
Jacksonville's in the same boat though too, because their defense is weak, and the offense is kind of like you just said. They can make it work, but yeah, you're right. He'd still have to do both of those. The Colts, he'd actually have to work back on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. There's questions. To be honest, though, Jacksonville, do we have questions on Sunshine?
I don't think so. Personally, the whole thing with Sunshine is there's it's like everybody wants to try to make it harder than what it is, as far as like Sam and I were talking just a couple pieces over it today with Shanahan. It's like when you're overthinking your offense and you're trying to cram it into your quarterback, and it's like, dude, relax. 5 minutes, man. Just chill. Take a step back and just ease into the game. And everybody's trying to overthink it. And, the players are like, well, okay, whatever. If that's what you want us to do, fine. No, I really don't. I really don't.
And honestly,
I mean, look, Brett Favre. Brett Favre is a perfect example of that type of situation. Look at Drew Brees. Look at Drew Brees and going from the Chargers into the Saints. And he went with an injury on top of it. And it's like, hey guys, look, it's always about, we've said it on the show lots of times, it's always about the correct system. And if the coach comes in and it's like, well, I want to run this system, but do you have the right guys? Well, that's on your general manager and your VP. I mean, you brought Doug Peterson in, and it's like, yes, he's had there's similarities there, but it's like, okay, why was Peterson let go off the last job? And then you've also got Frank Reich, who got let go off the last job. It's like, all right. And now, I mean, Philly's going through coaches almost as quickly as Cleveland Browns coaches. Almost. Sorry, Sam. But it's true. And it's like, guess what? They're skating by. I mean, that's the only flip side to that. But I mean, the same thing with, players and teams like that. I mean, right now, you've got a good core down there. Offensively, you have a pretty good core. Yeah, I get it. You got Kirk out on the IR. Okay, but you got some other dudes who are starting to step up. And you've got a good tight end. You've got 3 good running backs. There's nothing really outside of the defensive side of the ball. You've got a lot of holes there. I think if they work on the defensive side of the football and fill in those holes, it's going to make for a much more competitive team. And when your offense is just getting the snot beat out of them because, yeah, that left guard is still always been a question for the past 2 seasons, you really got to work on trying to trade for somebody in the offseason. They do. They totally do. Oh, Sam's still here. Hi, Sam. How you doing? So, yeah, I think Jackson, like I said, I think Jacksonville is still good. It's just going to need the correct coach with that proper system. I mean, and you can look in, who was it that, I forgot who it was that took, oh, wow, I'm brain farting now. Shoot, that's stupid medications.
It's not nice to blame the medications on your dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. Jesus. Denver. Man, I am brain farting it horribly. But they had to when Fox was over there. When Fox was over there, and they turned around and they took Fox, and Fox turned around and took his system, threw it out the door, and said, listen, we can turn around and adjust it to Tebow. And Tebow blended into it perfectly. And he was just fine. Got Denver to the freaking playoffs. Now, of course, the next year, what they do, they went out and got Peyton Manning, but because he was available. But still, it worked. It's like, look at your player strengths, swallow the ego for 2 seconds, and look at what your players' strengths are and adapt that to your system. That's what you've got to do. Simple coaching 102.
First of all, it's okay because at your age, the mind is the first thing to go.
Oh, man, dude, you're just looking to get.
I thought the foot went first.
I mean, he got his handicap placard because of it. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah, the MRI is next Tuesday, by the way. Finally. We will find out why the brain isn't working.
I mean, we can answer that one, but
I couldn't think of Fox's name. It's like I was trying to get there. I knew it wasn't what's his face from New England, McDonald.
John Fox. You were trying to think of the name John.
Yes,
Fox.
I was trying to remember John Fox. Yes. Oh.
You know what, Sam? For the next 30 seconds, I won't say anything bad about Philly. That's a good one.
Sam waited the whole 609 episode till I got on there to comment to tell me about Brock Purdy and his boo-boo and George Kittle may not. It's like, yeah, big deal. They've played without George Kittle before. Not a big deal. And Purdy will be just fine. He'll get his boo-boo fixed.
We did. We
at least he'll suck it up a lot better than AJ Brown will, who's still crap in the bed.
All right. We talked about it before we went on the air, but I did say it last Monday night that going into Saturday, that Oregon was going to have a rough time with Wisconsin in Wisconsin on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did they have a rough time in Wisconsin on Saturday night.
Yes, sir, they did. Yes, they did. That game was a little too close for comfort. That's for sure.
I am surprised, to be quite honest, with how close that game was, that Oregon didn't drop out of the top spot. But I think Ohio State having a rough time with Northwestern also
Yeah.
aided Oregon in that.
I mean, it was a trap game. They're
For
looking
who?
ahead. They're looking ahead.
They're gonna get beat by Indiana.
We'll see.
I think Indiana's gonna beat
it's
them.
not in Indiana. If it was in Indiana, I'd say all right.
It is a noon kickoff in Columbus.
Yep. So that's because there's a much bigger game in the evening. Which, by the way, our stupid bet thing would have just burned us last week.
Look, we play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's why I only use a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is I know why it happened. It's because you changed your own rules on it, and you didn't go with the lowest. You changed the rules.
Yeah, whatever. Shit happens. I'm not worried about it. Look. This week we're gonna bet the over on all the teams with the owl mascot.
I thought we wanted straight up wins.
Oh, sorry, straight up wins. Yes.
Yeah.
My apologies.
God, that could be some interesting picks depending on who they're playing.
Okay, so who's the first? You said the owl?
Temple.
Yes.
Temple, Middle Tennessee.
Temple. Yep. No, Middle Tennessee's the Blue Raiders.
I'm sorry.
It's Temple, Rice, FAU.
That's what I was thinking of.
And who the hell's the fourth one? Hang on. Is it Kennesaw State?
Yes, Kennesaw State.
Who?
Kennesaw State.
Are they even?
Yes, they are. They are
Kennesaw,
FBS.
Kennesaw, Georgia.
Are they even going to be on here?
Listen.
Temple, Rice. Okay, Temple's on Friday night at UTSA.
Texas
Isn't
San
that
Antonio?
the University of Texas Southern?
Texas San Antonio.
San Antonio. So they got UTSA. Hey, their tickets are as low as $7, and they're going to be on ESPN too, Bruiser.
Yeah.
They're as low as $7. Wow, UTSA is favored by 16.5. Yikes.
Maybe we just bet the Owls to come.
Yikes. The opposing team is favored by 16.5 at the over-under of 55.5. Whew.
Sam says some of these schools are made up.
They're not made up.
They're not. That's the sad part. They're
not made up.
They're not made up.
While you're looking this up, I have a little anecdote about FAU that I saw, which
I
haven't heard of this anywhere else, but whatever. So their coaching contracts, there's a weird little buyout clause that
stay away from me, please.
Instead of firing you, they reassign you within the athletic department. And then if you don't want to take the new job,
I love you.
It's a small buyout and you're gone.
I'm not trying to tell you to stay away from me.
So
really,
for example, before the guy who just got fired, I can't even think. Before him was head coach Willie Taggart.
Okay.
He got reassigned as the facilities manager for the athletic department instead of being fired initially. And then he had to decide whether he wanted to take that job or if he was just going to walk away. I have not heard of anybody else doing this.
That's interesting. So that way you get away with not having to pay the big money.
Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know exactly how that works, but
Boy, I'd be paying real close attention in my contract.
It's just interesting. I'm very curious. Does that mean when Taggart got fired, the choices were walk away with the small buyout, or your other
Okay,
players get to watch you pushing a broom around?
I didn't hear the whole thing. What happened? I'm dealing with The
Okay.
Walking Dead over here.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I had to mute you.
So FAU has this weird thing in their coaching contracts for the athletic department where instead of firing you, they reassign you within the department.
Oh my!
So not Tom Herman, but the guy before him, Willie Taggart, got reassigned facilities management.
Oh, so he's just mopping floors and cleaning up.
I mean, it's either that or you just take a buyout, which is apparently a buyout from your new position. So I don't know. That just sounds to me like somebody did not do a very good job negotiating your contract. But they said Tom Herman had a similar clause. So I'm just curious. I don't know what the hell's going on over there at FAU. Let's just put it that way.
What'd you guys say the fourth one was? I was even
Kennesaw
looking it up.
State.
Kennesaw State. KEN.
Yeah, keep going. I figured out the KEN part
It's 2 N's. Hang on. Let me bring it up.
because I looked it up as like colleges with the owl mascot, and they never even brought it up.
KENNESAW. Kennesaw.
Okay.
Kennesaw State. It is funny though. Tom Herman wasn't good enough for FAU. Wasn't he like the top guy at Texas like 8 years ago?
Less than that. Less than that, because Sark is Herman's replacement.
And they're playing FIU this week.
Oh, it's the world known Florida Atlantic versus Florida International.
It's the FU Bowl.
Yes,
No,
basically.
Kennesaw State is playing.
Oh, that's
FIU.
right. Kennesaw. Not sorry. We were talking
Kennesaw
FAU.
is.
Yep. That's a shame. Bless you.
Hey. What division is that? Good God.
That's a good question. I don't think it's AAC. I don't think.
Holy cow.
No, wrong. No, there's no cows involved with these mascots.
Oh, they're Conference USA.
No,
Oh, are
Tom
they?
Herman.
Yeah, go ahead. Tom Herman.
Tom Herman is also a member of the American Mensa.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, this is in fact Kennesaw State's first season in Conference USA.
Huh.
Would not surprise me if it's also their first season. Yes, it is their first season in FBS.
FIU is favored by 8.5. The over/under is only 44. Interesting. So you're saying there's a chance?
No, I am not saying that there's a chance.
Rice is playing UAB and is 6.5 favorite. And there is no over/under.
All right.
Tom Herman was also the offensive coordinator at Rice.
They're not letting the over/under has been locked out. That's odd.
Wait, when is that game? Are they playing it like tomorrow?
So Tom Herman was the assistant coach and offensive analyst for the Chicago Bears from 2021 until 2024, so until this year. He was the head coach for the Longhorns from 2016 to 2021. He coached the Houston Cougars. He was the offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes from 2011 to 2014.
Yeah, I know that.
He was offensive coordinator for Iowa State, Rice, Texas State, and Sam Houston State.
Saturday at 2:00.
Maybe there's injury issues and they're just not sure yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, Dave. What's up, Dave? We have to get to the circus. Let's talk about the circus.
Which circus?
Did you see the show? Were you happy with the show? I know so many people that wait a minute. The Netflix crashing was hilarious.
I was going to say, did anybody see the show?
I didn't. I never had a problem in that.
For those who got to see it with the lag, and for unfortunately a lot of those who apparently didn't have strong enough internet connection to uphold with the Netflix servers, which crashed abundantly to the point that when everybody woke up Saturday morning, found out that they were all logged out of their Netflix accounts because Netflix had to shut the servers down and hard boot the things at around 3 a.m. So everybody's like, oh, I want my money back. Dude, why must we? You already had your fun. You had your fun. It's our turn.
I thought the Tyson fight didn't bother me as much as some of the other fights on the card did, to be honest with you.
Let's talk about the women's match before this.
The women's fight didn't even bother me that bad.
Dude, the scorecarding, I'd like to know what they turned around and what they were looking at.
The first fight of the night, dude pushes the other guy to the corner, flips him around, and humps him.
I was
in the middle of the fight.
I forgot about that.
And poor Mauro Ronaldo goes, I don't know what that was.
It's like, boy, you ain't seen that in WWE, have you, buddy? Yeah.
The fact that we're talking about Twitter followers and Instagram followers and all that stuff as the why somebody got a fight and not merit of the people that they've actually fought just told me from the beginning of what this was. This was never going to be serious. Now,
nope.
I wanted to see Tyson. I saw it on Instagram and somebody laid it out perfectly. The mind was there. The power was there. The will was there. The legs weren't.
No.
And Jake Paul ran circles around a 58-year-old man for 2 minutes and gassed him out. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Because you saw the few punches of Tyson's that landed. I don't think Jake Paul has ever been hit that hard before.
I don't think so either.
Because Rosie Perez is a commentator.
The money was there. The money was there. Rosie Perez. Well, dude, the whole thing was. I mean, hello, look who was putting this on. Jake Paul and his brother were putting this whole facade on. They had to put a couple things on the card to make it look somewhat legit, but none of this crap was sanctioned. You guys, it's like, hello, this was a publicity stunt thing from the word go.
The women's fight, the one girl went up 2 weight classes to fight her.
Yeah, And she should have technically won. We were sitting there going, hello, how did she not win this fight? Chipper, you got to look it up, brother. The whole thing. I was at a buddy's house, and everybody even asked me. They're like, "Well, who do you think's going to win?" I says, "It doesn't matter." I says, "The fix is in." I says, "It doesn't matter." I says, "This is a big publicity stunt. It's not like this dude. The closest guy, Paul fought was the guy who he lost to." I says, "That was the closest quote unquote active boxer who's even going to turn around and talk to him about boxing." It's
So
like,
the
dude,
smart
if
money-
he couldn't box his way out of a brown paper bag.
So here is why people of Jake Paul's generation are idiots.
Well, we just went to 0 real quick. Oh, we went to negative?
Jake Paul's 27.
Yep.
The only other person I'm calling an idiot in here is Sam. It's fine. They're the same age. Sam knows he's an idiot because he roots for Philly. So it's like it's a double negative.
God.
That was our one viewer.
Yeah, right?
So
thanks a lot.
But here's why Paul was an idiot in this. You probably made a decent chunk of change at the box office on this when you probably could have made triple your money on a rematch. Because if you fought this thing at 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds, and it fought to a draw, and you make it look like Tyson had you on the ropes a few times, maybe you had Tyson on the ropes once or twice. Now you're not talking about Netflix. You're talking about HBO or Showtime or Cinemax, pay-per-view, where you can get a lot more money. And I realize pay-per-view is dead, but you put the Tyson Paul fight on a sanctioned card with some sanctioned fights. Tell me that wouldn't draw $55 a house.
Yeah, but your problem is getting an organization to sanction it.
I think you could get WBO to do it.
None of them believe it's on the up and up.
Right. None of them want to touch this kid because he's just that. He's all show.
Well, it's not on the up and up. I'm not saying you sanctioned the Paul Tyson fight, but you could have sanctioned events on that card.
Well, Tyson got 20 mil. Paul got 40 mil. So they both made a hell of a chunk of change. There was money flowing everywhere. I mean, when you see Shaq and Gronk and the freaking stars of what the hell Kelly said, that one horror show she watches, and it's like it was a who's who, all the celebs just hanging out.
I would ask if
main publicity stunt. I mean, when Gronk said he'll fight Shaq, I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go.
If I could have been there for the post-fight interview or the post-fight press conference, I would have asked Mike Tyson his $20 million worth of dignity. Because that's what they just bought. You were a killer. You were still the most feared boxer of multiple generations. And you sold your soul for $20 million. Was it worth it?
That's a good question.
Because is anybody today looking at Mike Tyson the way they were looking at him Thursday?
I think they're looking at him as a basically 60-year-old man.
Right. But Thursday, before the fight, you'd see those training videos and you're like, man,
He's still
Tyson's
got it.
he still got it.
Yep.
Training videos are training videos. It was
I understand.
literally
Oh, the whole Netflix.
I understand
documentary.
that, but the quotes, I'm going in there, like, you heard it, you're like, he's still there. That Mike Tyson from 89, 90, 91, he's still there. And then you get to Friday and you're like, this is all a joke.
it was all a work. The
Yep.
entire
I
thing.
know that. I get that. I get it. I understand that. But I think that there are a lot of people who, especially with this, are like,
There were a lot of people who turned around and became new Netflix members because of this.
well, it's not just that, but like,
It's true.
no, that's not what I mean. Like, it's not just like, so Miles Garrett and Miles Rudolph, or whatever the kid's name was, from Pittsburgh, when Garrett, cavemanned him,
Yeah.
we all agreed something happened and that was a little too far, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little.
What happened Friday, I realize you're pulling a grift, but you were Icarus. You flew too close to the sun. Because if you had got in there with Butterbean and fought Butterbean and beat him, okay, I'll buy that. You want to pay an aging Anderson Silva? Okay, I'll buy that. This is Mike Tyson, man. It's like beating up on Muhammad Ali in the 90s when Parkinson's already set in. You fought a 60-year-old Mike Tyson and paid him $20 million to sell his soul to you. A little too far.
It was perfectly set up and perfectly executed.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Well put. We'll catch you on the flip side. We're out. It's time to boogie.
Good night, Gracie.
George and Gracie got it from here. Check this out.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. I said say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin. And if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Grayson.